Hello, this is Corazón Alvina of the Museo ng Kaalamang Katutubo or MusKKat. MusKKat is a foundation that tends to museum development, research, and conservation of material culture and the layers of kaalaman or knowledge behind the creation. During these times of restricted face-to-face interaction, MusKKat has been active in sharing its collection, research work, and stories in its publications, online lectures and exhibitions, and a podcast entitled Usapin, Usapan, a venue for an informed and informative conversation between MusKKat, represented by yours truly and one subject matter expert. This edition of Usapin, Usapan, which is about the Yakan cultural community of Pasilan, will be in two parts with our esteemed kausap, dance educator and researcher Earl Francis Pasilan. Earl holds a master's degree in teaching physical education, specializing in dance, in culture, dance composition, choreography, and sports science in the Southwestern University, Cebu City. We shall commence with part 1. Hi Earl, kamusta ka? Hindi matagal na panahon na hindi na tayo magkita-kita dahil sa mga restrictions at saka bawal magbiyahe. I really miss interacting with you and talking to you about dancing, about the gamaba, about the clothing of Yakan, the weaving. Ang dami-dami nating dapat pag-usapan. Siguro sa madaling panahon, hopefully, ay tayo ay makakapagkita, no?
Yun nga po, magandang hapon din po, Ma'am Cora. At ang saya-saya ko po na sa pamamagitan nito, tayo po ay makapag-chika-chika, ika nga, tungkol sa mga bagay-bagay na lagi natin pinag-uusapan noon tungkol sa kultura at sa ating mga indigenous communities.
Yes.
Na sa ating mga puso.
Isa sa mga na-request kasi sa amin, no, in the course of doing surveys and seeking reaction from our vast followership, ay isang maraming nagtatanong, ano daw ba ang Yakan culture? So siguro magandang ating buksan ng bintana, ang pinto at ang kanilang mga mata upang malaman kung what is Yakan culture. I would like to look at this, basically anthropologically by talking about the people and of course the place, the environment where they thrive, no? And you've been with the Yakan for so long. I will not say how many years so as not to divulge how old you are. So please, to start, tell me, who are the Yakan?
Okay, so Assalamualaikum. Dukhap kohap sika ang kemon. So that is peace to all and good afternoon in the Yakan language. So the Yakan are the inhabitants of the island province of Basilan, here in the southern part of the Philippines. It's near to Zamboanga City, and the south of it is Sulu. So the Yakans, kumbaga, they consider Lamitan City as their hometown, although the entire province is being inhabited by the Yakan. And we also have Yakan communities here in Zamboanga City. Now that we have the Yakan Weaving Center in Upper Calarian, and we also have the Yakan communities in neighboring islands. The Yakans are basically farmers. They grow upland rice, cassava, they do copra, they produce products coming from any part of the coconut, from its oil to fuel, to, kumbaga sa local language, carbon or uling, charcoal. And so they also grow fruit trees in their environment. And they would also love horseback riding kasi noon they really own horses as a means of transportation. Best friend po ng Yakan ang horses kasi yun lang din talaga ang sinaunang transportation nila or mode of bringing their products from the hinterlands to the poblasyon. Ayan. And the Yakan are known also to be, according to our anthropologists, one of the finest weavers in our
Yes.
country. Because we also have a Igamaba, Nawashi Apu Ambalang Ausalin na kinilala bilang isang manlilikha ng bayan sa Tenun or the traditional Yakan weaving. And then
That's
the
true.
Yakan are also known to be good musicians because meron tayong representative ika nga sa isang manlilikha ng bayan din na si Uncle Uwang Ahadas. Known also with these individuals, nakilala po ang Yakan sa kanilang tenun at sa pagtugtog ng peregeyan or ng tagunggo. So those are the things that basic knowledge about the Yakan.
But more to the form of social structures, what are their families like? Are they nuclear, mother, father, or extended nuclear? They consider grandfather, grandmother, and how are they domiciled? How do they live? They live together, and then they live in villages. How are habitations clustered? If not in the city, if you go in the hinterlands, how are they organized?
Usually they live with their family until puberty. Kasi pag yun nga, when they reach adolescence, the young girl and young boy are ready for marriage. So they, especially the girl, will have to transfer to the house of the groom. Pagdating dun sa bahay ng lalaki, ando dun rin yung nuclear family nila ng lalaki, and at times andun yung mga extended families, ang relatives and cousins would stay also in one big house they called Luma Hadje or Luma Masa. Walang partition po yung bahay so that everybody can stay together. And the houses, usually kung sino yung mga magkakapamilya, ano dyan, bumubuo sila ng parang village.
I see. But so both ano yan, bilateral yung mga
yes.
It's not matriarchal or patriarchal. It is a bilateral or organization. Yes. That's very nice to know. Anyway, so what you said that they were also they are farmers basically, no?
Yes.
How about land ownership? Do they own their land or
yes, they do.
And are these great big tracts of land, and do they live on the land that they till? Do they till personally, or do they have is it a family affair? For instance, in Batanes, we know that the planting is done by the family. And they have little plots behind their houses, but they also have other plots because they space the plots so that when bagyo comes in Batanes, which is quite often and a little strong, the crops, not all the crops are destroyed. So how is it in Yakan?
Sa Yakan po, fundamentally it's a family thing. So the father, the mother, and the children would take part in preparing the land, especially for planting. However, it becomes a communal affair pagdating sa pagtatanim. Maaring magtulungan ang buong community sa lawak ng pagtatamnan nila.
What is the weather like in Yakan? I seldom hear storms, slamming into Pasilan. It seems like it appears to be spared any of those disasters that we have. Of course, they have other kinds of disturbances that we know of. But parang walang bagyo?
Wala po. Ang ganda kasi may mga bundok pa tayo doon at may mga puno pa ang kabundukan ng Basilan na tumutulong sa pag-protect sa mga tao. Kung uulan man, hindi po ganun kalakas. Although recently nagkakabaha na sa bayan, kasi syempre dami-dami na ring bahay sa city proper. So yun. Pero pag sa taas, wala pa naman pong ganung problema pagdating sa kanilang kung may bagyo or malalakas na ulan. Kaya
do you refer to when you say sa taas? Which town? Is that a town? Is that is that another barangay?
Yes. Sa Lamitan po kasi usually meron tayong kumbaga geographical identification or location na pag sabihin sa baba, ito yung sa poblasyon. Pag sabihin sa taas, ito yung mga sitios or barangays that are found in the hinterlands of the province.
That's good. But since we have been talking about planting, maybe you can also tell our audience, no? I'm sure they would like to know about food, Yakan food. What is it like? What is the staple of Yakan food?
So, the Yakan grow upland rice. Sarap ng kanin kapag upland rice. Kaya ang mga local delicacies nila would include the panyalam or rice cake. Meron din silang ja. In other neighboring groups, they would call it lokot-lokot.
Which one is this? Could you describe each one in both? Is it savory or sweet? And then how does it look like? Or how is it prepared if you know how to cook?
Yes. Usually, the panyalam and the ja are fried deep in oil. Ang mixture niya is rice powder with brown sugar, or kung gusto nila lagyan ng white sugar, okay lang din po. Ayan, and they would mix this all together, and then meron silang tinatawag na tagtagan kung saan nilalagay yung ja. Parang tinutugtog siya, parang tugtog rin ng gandang. Iniikot-ikot yun, kaya parang noodle-like, nahulog yung mixture sa oil. Tapos dapat mabilis yung nagluluto para hindi masunog yung mixture. Tinutupi-tupi yun hanggang sa maging malaking triangle ang ja. Yan. And then pinapatuyo siya sa tissue or sa bond paper para maging crispy. Ang ja. Ang panyalam po is circular. Okay? Still of the same mixture ng rice powder and sugar. And medyo matamis-tamis. Parang parang local pastry nga siya ng yakan. Piniprito rin siya sa kawali habang may hawak na patpat yung nagluluto. Nagpo-form siya na parang flower, pabilog. Meron siyang may design siya sa sides. At inaangat siya after a few minutes para hindi rin siya masunog. Okay, so hinahanda to siya kung merong wedding or pagkawin, merong pagtamat or the Quranic graduation, merong pagtimbang or the weighing of the child after the child was born during the bulan sapal, or during the grand feast of Lami-Lamihan. So pag piyesta po sa Lamitan sa June, ayan naglalabasan po yung mga magagaling na magluto ng panyalam at ja, at nilalagyan talaga sila ng special stall sa bayan na kung saan na pinapakita nila yung paraan ng pagluto ng dalawang delicacies na to. Yeah.
But what about everyday food they eat? Their principal, of course, is rice, no? But what do they prepare with fish or with chicken? How is their food? Is their savory food actually spicy, for instance?
Yes, they would love spicy foods. They would put sili or lala in the local term to make it spicy. That's why they have this special preparation for the fish. Ang tawag dun sampina or tinuno. Na kung saan pag nagpiprito ng isda or iniihaw sa nilalagyan ng spices yung tiyan, yung inner part ng isda at yung mga cuts in between, nilalagyan siya ng spices para mas mabango at malinamnam nga. So they would eat fish. They would cook also native chicken. Kaya meron silang tinatawag na kaliya. Yung kaliya is native chicken mixed with cassava. Niluluto siya at hanggang sa maging malapot. And then meron din silang piniprepare na pansit na yari sa papaya, scrape na papaya fruit. Parang kung sa atin parang atsara, pero niluluto siya parang pansit.
Even the sahog is like pansit?
Yes, po. Yes, ang linamnam po nung pansit nila na yari sa gawa sa papaya, shredded papaya.
Oh,
Yun.
that's quite interesting, no? Because as you know, the papayas made into salad or made into achara. This is the first time actually that I hear that it is made into pansit.
Yes, opo, that's true. And then that is very much hop in Yakan is good or mahapin, good taste if eaten with yellow rice. Yun merong hinahalo ng turmeric or ng yung kanin para maging yellow. Kaya ginagamit siya tuwing may occasion sa bahay or kung sa bahay lang din, may mga magagaling po tayong nanay na ginagawa siya parang hugis sa mountain, hugis bundok, yung rice mound.
So naka-mound siya.
Yes, opo. Yun. And then andyan may boiled eggs, andyan mga pritong isda na nakapalibot sa mound ng rice. So imagine niyo sa isang dulang kung kakain nasa gitna po yung rice mound at palibot sa kanya andun yung mga ulam na nakaset sa dahon ng saging.
To this day, that is how they prepare it?
Yes, they still do prepare like that.
That's but one of the things I have always asked my friends, kasi it always interests me. Of course, humans are expected to, well, I don't know, not all humans perhaps, given the situation all over, but I'm very interested in the differentiation between the meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is it's a Western construct. But what do they eat for breakfast? I've always asked that of the indigenous people. Anong kinakain ninyo for breakfast? Anong iniinom?
Meron silang tinatawag na piuto, yung yari po sa kasaba. Kung walang kanin, walang bigas na pangluto, meron silang kasaba. Ang tawag dun piuto.
Piuto is the dish or it's the kasaba itself? Is it prepared?
Kasaba. Powdered kasaba.
Powdered?
Yes.
Oh. And what do they do with it?
They would boil it. That's how we cook rice. Yun, niluluto nila yun. Para maging, minsan sinashape nila yan parang bilog-bilog. Meron parang, imagine niyo na yung sausage, yung pahaba nun.
Yeah.
Parang ganun yung shape ng piuto. Parang siyanglag. Pag sabi nilang siyanglag, parang tinotoast siya, yung kasaba sa frying pan. Yun din ang parang fried rice nila.
But is it spiced up? Is it seasoned? Meron ba nilalagay?
Yes,
salt, pepper, or whatever?
Bubok. Yung powdered na spicy fish. Parang mixture yun siya na powdery.
What is it called?
Bubok.
Tubok.
Bubok. B-U-B-U-K.
Bubok.
Bubok, yes.
Okay.
Powderized siya, parang nilalagay siya sa ibabaw ng kanin or ng isda or ng chicken.
And it is made of fish also?
Yes, opo.
Is it very dry and it's a dry powder?
Yes, dry po.
To you, is it fine or coarse?
It's fine. Yes.
That is something to look forward to try.
Opo.
And sili, of course, even in the morning.
Opo. Kung ma-imagine nyo kakain tayo sa restaurant sa mall, di ba may sinaserve itong particular fast food chain ng garlic chili paste? Yung bubok nila, walang oil. Puro siya pulbos, powder. Ganun yung mixture niya.
Does it have to be homemade? Is it prepared in the home? Or can you buy it in the market or a store? Is it packaged?
Lamitan, yes. We can buy it in lamitan.
So it is also commercially available.
Yes, it's commercially available. Pero sa bahay po, sa Lamitan, among my relatives and my friends, they would really have they would prepare it themselves.
I see, I see.
So,
Okay. So
not
something like dried bagoong.
honey nila.
They are mostly Muslims, correct?
Yes, they are.
So they don't eat meat. They
pork, yes, because
pork.
it's yes.
Yeah. They eat seafood instead, and the beef and fowl are okay.
Yes,
It's just pork that they avoid, no? Okay. That's very interesting because cuisine of a people, you know, how people prepare food, how they produce food, how they prepare, how they eat, and with whom is very telling of a culture, no? So cuisine always interests us, including our viewers, no? And if you notice in our posts on our Facebook page, there are at least 2 posts, regular posts dedicated to food, no? Because it is of wide and deep interest for many people. Thank you very much for that initial account of who the Yakan are, what they do, where they live, what they wear and eat. But there is so much more to learn about this extraordinary ethno-linguistic group. There are other facets of Yakan culture to explore, which we shall do in part 2 of this Usapin Usapan. So, abangan po. Follow us. Follow MusKKat. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.